Okay, I love what we're talking about Irminsul because I want to mention, and it just came to me right now, in the trailer, oh my goodness, and I love that we're talking about Irminsul right now because it works perfectly. They talk about this mechanism, I forget what they call it in the trailer, but it says, they allude to the idea that this mechanism is the one making judgments, and it has a consciousness. And I want to talk about that for a little bit. What do we think about that?
I have many thoughts. This has a very long French name.
Mm-hmm.
I might need to see it written before.
Wait,
it's like
subtitles.
the Oraclis baguette. It's something like that. I don't know.
Oratrice operates.
Oh, the Oratrice baguette. Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting because we were talking about earlier about like the duties of like Focalors and Nouvelette, but it seems like also there's this thing that has a will of its own.
Right. We think Fruni is doing she's doing the final call and she's relying on him to do it, but maybe it goes even further back than we realize.
Yeah. So.
Are we getting what is that thing called, 19 whatever? The
1984.
Yeah, where it's just this thing determines that this person's gonna be a criminal before they actually do anything. We going there?
Wait, Al and I were just talking. Well, no, Al and I were making comparisons to Psychopaths, which I have not seen, and also Minority Report, where
they sound familiar, but I don't know the specifics.
Yeah, like in Psychopaths, yeah. So basically, you can either see the crimes in the future somehow, or you can predict the probability that
this person will be a criminal. Yeah. Oh snap! Maybe that's what happens with the Traveler. Oh snap! Maybe that's why they convict him. Is that they take him to the thing, and it's just this guy's gonna do something bad. It's probably him, bro. It's probably him. Her.
So it's entirely possible that Traveler doesn't even do anything, and it's maybe it's oh my god, imagine it's another AI that's just spouting out things, and it's you have a pretty high probability of doing something, so I don't know, arrest them.
Yeah, I honestly I could see that happening. My first thought is eventually maybe the Traveler does something to mess with Celestia, and then this judge thing is oh, this guy / girl, no, not him. He's done. He's over. Get him. Arrest him now. Maybe they already. It doesn't even mention anything about the crime that took place. It's just nah. This guy, this girl. Get him now. Arrest him yesterday.
Get him. Yeah. So. It's interesting though that there seems to be this emphasis on the will. I know,
smells like a criminal. Yeah.
It reminds me of something, and I don't have. Oh God, I don't even know what to think about what the actual connection and implications are. But so, in Kavarna, Good and Evil, so Nasajuna can explore the Dari ruins because he has these investigation notes, and they're from a researcher from Fontaine, who is investigating Kavarna and Abyssal Power, and he describes Kavarna and Abyssal Power as having a will. So I'm it's setting off red flags in my mind, but I have no idea how to connect it to this. It might just be a similar wording and maybe has no connection. But I'm
you know what that made me think of? The oh my goodness, the man, the myth, the legend. That made me think of the Sinner. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
The guy that says what does he say in that quest? I forgot what he says in that quest. But doesn't he allude to the idea that he kind of knows what's happening and what's gonna happen, kind of thing?
Because he sees and knows your fate well. And then he encourages. I'm assuming Traveler's sibling in the memory. I assume. To rise above your bestowed fate, and he will shed a tear at the end of time.
Yeah,
and then,
he sheds
but
a tear
the thing
at
is
the end of time.
that I think one of my favorite lines is how Dane is oh shit, you talked to him? You gotta leave, because space and time isn't a problem for him, so I'm
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah.
Like, I can't. I gotta get out of here.
He's like, oh shoot, wait, no, I got it, time to go. He's aware. Maybe, man, that actually really makes me think. Yeah, what if even this judge thing has a connection to like that abyssal power, which has connection to the sinner, and like my theory with the sinner, right, is that the people that kind of like pledge allegiance to him, he can kind of use their lives to kind of see the future and the past of how, you know, how long they live in the future, and then how long they have lived, and that's kind of like how how it or whatever is able to see the future and the past. That's kind of been my angle on it. And maybe that's how, because I was looking at the captions for the trailer again. One of their concerns with it is that it does it accurately. It can it delivers sentences accurately. Which is the scariest thing, right? Like the fact that this thing is right, I guess, is like really scary, right? But maybe that's why, because it's like it's connected to the guy that knows what's gonna happen.
I have a few thoughts. First of all, so I guess my first thought would be, gosh, I think we need to understand what it is and how it actually works.
Of course, yeah.
Well, obviously, but like, how do they know it's accurate? Like,
that's true. That's true.
Is it just more like? I don't know. I have a lot of question marks there.
That's true. But that phrase is very like, it can go two ways. Like it could be right. Why can it deliver sentence accurately in the sense of just like, oh, this criminal actually did do the crime and it was like accurate in that sense, or is it saying like, it's doing it accurately? Are we sure it's accurate? I think it can go like either way.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where it's like, ooh,
we need more.
I could speculate a lot, but I personally would want more information before say making a video.
Right. Yeah, of course. Because
I like to have screenshots of sources.
The campaign
and stuff,
begins.
But my second thought though, in 3.6 and even before that, I feel like they've been setting up Fontaine to have an energy crisis. And then the live stream actually talks about what was it called, the indemnitium or something, which is derived from the judgment, right? Or something like that. And I remember in 3.6 I just felt like when we are exploring the Conria ruins, we get more insight into like how Conria used to have an energy source completely based on like ley line energy, but it was inefficient and not great. So then Conria turned to abyssal power and forbidden knowledge to basically power society, or like get an energy source, and like have some new form of power. So I remember like seeing how they were setting that up alongside all these Fontaine hints, and I was like, is this going to be a theme in Fontaine where like Fontaine is running out of energy, so they want to turn to abyssal sources?
Ooh.
And that could trigger some sort of conflict with maybe Celestia?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of see like the angle that we're going here. Okay, maybe because because actually you saying that makes me want to look at something I saw in the live stream preview actually. If I could find it. Essentially, okay, what I want to talk about is when they're talking about the visions for the Fontaine holders, they were talking about so
the different casings.
The different casings, and they're able to interact with this unique type of energy. I don't remember the name, but it's attached to something called the Arcade system. I remember that part.
So I think maybe it's Arcade, maybe it's Arcade.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I hear him say it first.
But they show it. It's Numa and Osea, I
Osea.
think.
Which,
I think that's how you say it.
if we look at them, that's looking very purple. That's looking very like light, like, you know.
There's definitely like a yellow, purple, light, dark.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, with the purple,
Mm-hmm.
it has it has like some sort of flavor of like abyss, but I don't want to say that because it's not indicated to be anything associated with abyssal energy, because it seems like it's very unique to Fontaine.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But they're certainly opposing.
There's something here. An annihilation. It's called an annihilation reaction.
Oh,
like,
yeah. So
you know, like.
So another thing, and one of the notes you can find in the Girdle of Sands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lost page from the investigation notes that Nasajuna gives you. They explicitly talk about an annihilation reaction between Kavarna and abyssal power. Like they explicitly say, like, Kavarna and abyssal power are opposites. They're kind of the same, but they're completely opposite. And if they go head to head, there's an annihilation reaction. And it's also worth noting that these notes, like I said, are from a Fontaine researcher named Renee, who also specifically mentions Elaine Guillotine, who was the one who developed this energy system in Fontaine.
Oh, okay. And Kiri added, it seems to be closer to the light and dark things from Incarnamia. True, they could be related as well.
Yes, so I mean, maybe it could just be like a local flavor of it.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know, because I don't want to call it abyssal, because abyssal is so prevalent and different.
There is something with it though. There is something with it, especially with if we see the reactions themselves. It's like swords, right? It's like light and dark swords. It seems like is like kind of the reaction that kind of happens. Which reminds me of something that I can't put my finger on.
Wait, the swords?
Yeah, there's something about them that makes me feel like I've seen something like this before. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it's Eula's burst. No, I meant like, it's just reminding me of something, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Either aside from thinking of like Tong Yuns and
No, yeah. Not gameplay stuff. Yeah, not gameplay stuff. Yeah. Yeah, not gameplay stuff. Not gameplay stuff. Yeah, no, maybe it'll come to me. Maybe it'll come to me. But it does. It reminds me of something, and it's just not quite there. It's just not quite there.
But you know, the thing about this, I feel like because this is like a big Fontaine mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this will get explained.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do
like
something with it.
Maybe in the quest or like a world quest or something.
Mm-hmm. Cause
But,
it could even be like, not even abyssal. It could maybe even be related to Vishaps, right? It could even be related to them.
well, if we're talking about like Kavarna and abyssal, I mean, it does kind of bring up this idea of like light realm versus void realm and Vishaps.
True. They're the primordial realm, right? Which is is that the light realm? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the light realm is allegedly the oldest one, realm of bishops, realm of pure raw elemental energy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Bishops are all about that pure energy. Yeah, maybe
Yes.
this. I wonder maybe. Okay, take a different direction. What if this type of energy is more like what the primordial one uses?